Lurker. I missed a spot on my beard. What's up, Kyle? Hello, hello. Hello, hello, Brian. Looks a little thicky right there. Maybe it's my new lighting. I think it's just a heavier patch. Ah, look at this. Look at this beast. Hella, it does. I watched that video today. I was driving to the shop, popped up on my thing. I said, I'll listen to this while I'm driving to work. And I listened to the guy talk. And he's like, man, bass fishing's really not about bass fishing anymore. And I was thinking to myself, and I was like, when has it ever been, bro? Like they've always had patches on their shirts. Uh, they've always been trying to sell product. Like maybe in like the first year or two, maybe. But I mean, 80s was definitely pushing product. 90s for sure. Like nothing's changed. Like you got guys that can sell sand at the beach. Then you got guys that learn later down the road that they can't sell anything, and that if they could sell, they wouldn't have to be as good at fishing. But guys learn that the hard way. But there was a few points in there that I was listening to, and I was thinking to myself, I don't think I don't think this is for you, bro. I don't think this is for you. But I did find it interesting where he said going forward uh, his new focus for his channel is that he's going to show how much money's in his bank account, what he's spending, like all of the financials that go along with fishing will be documented. That'll be eye opening. I mean, it really won't because we know uh, that there's tons of guys out there uh, that are broke and can't afford to be out there anyway, and they're just out there fishing and not making any money. So, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see the guy that says I got 5 grand. Let's go see what happens. Uh, Jeremy, what's his name? Jacob Fouts. Based on what he said, going to be a lot of expenses and not much income. Yeah, yeah. Happy Veterans Day, Bobby. Um, Kyle, he actually got dropped by 2. Like, I don't mean to laugh at him, but I laughed at the fact that you said that because he posted a video that we're talking about. That was uh, him pretty much saying this whole industry is not what I expected, or it's not what I wanted. I'm not getting out of it what I wanted to get out of it, and uh, he put out this video, and I don't know that it was like I think whoever it was like had it out for him anyway. Um, but I think his boat dealership sponsor dropped him and Arc Rods or whatever. It's like, dude, you don't need that shit anyway. Um, Brendan, it's actually never left. My regular beard just gets longer and it overshadows the mustache. It's typically always longer than the rest of my hair, but you can only really tell when I trim this part down. It looks like a missed the spot right there. Um, so, I mean, we'll see. I really will. It'll be interesting. He's starting now with like 1.5 subs. It'll be interesting to see what his transparency gains him and his popularity. What happens to that as far as uh, growth goes. I mean, I'm sure he will grow a lot, but I don't know how much. Uh, I can't. Brendan already sanded it off. It's gone. It's gone. What's up, South J? Who watched the 1 and 48 minutes of Greg Hackney? This guy. So I know some of you out there will be saying, keyboard warrior TK, shut up. You're just a dickweed that sits around and paints fishing lures and doesn't actually fish and whatever. You can't critique Greg Hackney, but I have a Greg Hackney critique. When I was watching the video, he pulled up on one piece of cover, and I feel like he botched the cover, and it's something I have a great. I don't think I don't think it was strategy, Brian. Maybe, but it was. I don't know at what point in the video because there was a million of them he fished. But he fished a. If you watch the video, there's a bunch of these reed clumps. We call them reed heads, whatever. Reed clump, reed head. He potentially could have Hella, and I'll tell you why. Because the only thing that I was thinking was that the water is deeper than I think it is or thought it was. But even then, so back in the day, for the last, I mean, since I was a kid, dude, fishing the Alabama River, we've had these reed clumps, and you'd see fish around them, and the water was shallow, and you'd see fish around them, and they'd get spooky because where I would fish was it was a Corps of Engineers lake. They had dams on either side, so they would pull the water up and down, so it would act like a tide. So when the water would fall, they wouldn't typically leave unless they would like pull it off their back, and then it was still they wouldn't want to. But I got a lot. If there's like one piece of cover that I feel like I'm like a notch above at fishing, it's those reed heads. And he would approach one, and when you're looking at the clump and you're like, say you are the clump and I'm coming at you, he would pitch right at the base of the clump head on. It's the worst cast you could possibly make. 100%. Never make that cast. If you're listening and you're fishing those things and they're in shallow water, you do not throw there. You throw past it. And you bring it down the side, and then you throw it down the other side, and you bring it down that side. And then you move the boat around and you throw it down the side, because that's how they set up on them. Only time you can get lucky is occasionally with a frog, where it lands and stops, and sometimes they'll blast it just when it hits the water. But for the most part, it's like dinging a dock, like really loud on a really, really heavily pressured dock lake. Like if you're on Logan Martin and you like ping a dock post, like a metal one, not up in Hellabass land, like on the Coosa. or like anything like that. It's like, I mean, it's almost like running your trolling motor into a tree. Um, but I saw that and I was like, no, don't make that cast. What are you doing, dude? No, 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 no. And then there's this little, he catches one off of it eventually, but he throws his frog at this little clump and he throws it right at the end of the clump. And I was like, no, dude, you throw past it. I was like, those fish spook. And he eventually caught the fish, and he caught the fish on a cast that he cast past the clump. I was like, maybe, maybe. But I mean, it's Greg Hackney. You know what I mean? Who am I to say, Greg, what are you doing? But that was my. I feel like he could have maybe got an extra bite or two had he fished those reed heads differently. Not saying you. Not saying. I think he did more harm than he did good. Let's say that. Uh, Brendan, by watching him pitch at them, no, he does not, because it didn't. He didn't. What he was doing did not produce a strike. So it proves that that was not working. I don't know that I ever saw him catch one on a. I don't know that I ever saw him catch one on an actual cast to the front of the clump. Um, Most of his fish were sight fish anyway. Um, but any of his like just random casts, pitches, whatever, uh, didn't work out. But I feel like he might could have attacked those clumps a little better and or a little differently. Maybe got a bite. Uh, I still don't understand why he was doing that. One would think with experience fishing reeds, he wouldn't pitch it in the front. Yeah, like Kyle, that as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, Greg, what are you doing, dude? That's like a big no-no." You know what I mean? That is a no-no. But like I said, it's Greg Hackney. I'd like to talk to Greg and say, Greg, let's watch this little clip real quick. Why the hell did you do that? He'd probably say, I wasn't really planning on getting a bite around those things anyway. So, but I guarantee you, I guarantee there was fish around them. Guarantee. Could have been a shapeshifter. Could have been a different avatar. I don't know. But glad I wasn't the only one thinking that, Kyle. I don't know. I mean, Greg obviously has plenty of experience fishing reed heads, I'm sure. Maybe he was just didn't care. I don't know. And he caught 22 pounds. And watching him catch 22 pounds, I thought he had like 13. Just by the looks of his fish, when he would cull, I was like, oh, he just culled up like a 2-1 to like a 2-3. Apparently they were all fours. Apparently they were all fours. Brian, I don't want to do that because it used to infuriate me when Bassmaster had the article titles. Why Dean Rojas is a better spoon fisherman than you. I'm like, Dean's not a better spoon fisherman than me. He's a frogger. Or there was always something that somebody like wasn't a specialist at. It's like, why Aaron Martins is a better whopper plopper fisherman than you. It's like, I'm sure he is, but I would rather hear something else. Or like, why Jimmy Houston is a better flipper than you. It's like, dude, I've never seen Jimmy Houston flip a day of my life. He's not. Like, sorry, Bassmaster. Bad article. those used to make me so mad because it like belittled the reading audience that because these guys are on the Elite Series, they're better than everybody reading their magazine. Why Randy Blockett is a better live scoper? Exactly. But it would those articles would always irk me because everybody knows and everybody has friends or acquaintances or people they fished against that could fish, like have the technical ability and the talent to fish professionally, and their lives just didn't go that route. But you're gonna like belittle them because they don't fish on the Elite Series and say, here's why this guy is better than you. It's like he's not. The fours he didn't show. Maybe he was catching the fours on the front of the reeds and they were biting it in the first pitch on the reaction bite. Could have been. That would be funny. But I know I wouldn't have made that cast, but I'm also sitting here talking to you, not fishing the Elite Series, and one of the greatest anglers of the last 15 years. So who knows? Who knows? Why you're trash at fishing? I mean, that's pretty much what the article read like. Like when I read that title, I was like, no, no. Why you suck? Why you need to sell your boat? Why you need to fish from the bank? But yeah, that was my. I wish I could. Use AI to go back and refish Hackney's little route and let me like make the cast and be like, do it this way. You'd probably be like, shut up, you damn dipshit. Go sit in the back. Okay. Okay. I guess I'll do that. But I don't know that I got an uncle that if he had the backing, you get it at least if I didn't remember. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of guys in like when I was in Tuscaloosa, there was tons of guys up there that were so good. In Birmingham, like just local guys that were just badass anglers, and they could have like done something, but where is it? What's that dude's name? Hella Jacob Fouts. Jacob Fouts. He's growing by the minute. What pros don't tell you about the fishing industry? And I don't know that it was like a revelation that he said people want you to sell things. People want you to be able to talk well. People want you to have a good social media presence and a big following. Why would they not want that? You know what I mean? Oh, nobody knows you exist? Come on in, let's write you a big check. You'll sell the shit out of stuff. No, you won't. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of rocks this dude living under? What is he? I mean, really? I mean, you're there for one thing, and it ain't fishing. Like, who? Literally, like, if you're like Pradco, hey, come on board. You know what? Don't talk about our products. I mean, you've got 100 followers. That's fine. Don't try and grow. Uh, You know what? You know what we want you to do? Just go fishing. Have fun. Here's a check for $500 a month. Enjoy. Wear a Berkeley hat. Wear a Pragco hat. Whatever you feel like. Pro bass fishing was an excuse for those who just have girls to have a legitimate excuse to get away from the kids and wife. Maybe. Uh, I think there's been enough told about the fishing industry that none of this is a surprise. But I think the main thing is the only people that you hear from talking about the fishing industry are guys that are pretty legitimate in the fishing industry. Like, I guess this dude is should be commended because he's like one of the few like broke dicks that's like, listen, here's I think like the guy said, I think a lot of ego gets in the way. And when guys are struggling, they don't want to admit this sucks. I don't have any money. Like you hear stories told about those guys, like, oh yeah, there's guys out there raking up $100,000 in credit card debt, but you never actually hear from the guy going, I've got $100,000 in credit card debt. That guy is me, and it sucks, and I'm broke because nobody wants to say that. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I hope the guy gets his gets some steam, gets out there, makes a little money, lives the dream, thrives. That would be nice. Seemed a little naive that he could just go out there and fish. I mean, that's what I thought about bass fishing when I was in my early teens and into my 20s. If you want to be a bass fisherman, you need to be the best bass fisherman. Well, not how it works. I mean, unless you're like one in a million. Like when I say best, you're better than Kevin Van Dam or Aaron Martins or Rick Clunn or any of those guys, like generational talent. Wheeler, Aaron Martins, any of those guys. But they don't come along very often. Um, so if you're not that, and I don't think it's too hard to look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm not Van Dam, I'm not Aaron, I'm not Rick Clunn. So having that little nugget of information, that means that I'm okay at fishing. I can catch a bass, but I need to learn how to sell, and I need to learn how to market, and I need to learn how to do all the other stuff so I can afford to do what I love, which is fish. But I'm just okay at it. Networking, Brendan, never understood it. Well, I wouldn't say I never understood it. You hear a lot of people talk about it, but I didn't understand how powerful a tool it is and how many people who are good networkers use that to get where they need to get. And it's probably, I would say, on the Elite Series, as far as like getting money, getting sponsors, getting patches, it's all networking. 100%. 100%. What are you networking for, Brendan? What is your end goal? What are all these networks going to culminate for you and push you into? The future that you don't know what it is, but you might need them one day. It's a good option. Never hurts to know people. The elites and invitationals and pro bass fishing just billboard remote. Networking equals contacts, then clients, then investors. Yeah. Marketing and business understanding is key to being good at fishermen. Here's my biggest beef with these dumbass fishermen. They act like because you're a pro fisherman, you're treated differently than anybody starting their own business. Because it's the same thing. Like, just because you fish doesn't make a hill of beans about, like, you act like you fish for a living, you shouldn't have to struggle. No. Like, me, for instance, I thought if I just painted really good, you're successful, right? If you paint really good, then everybody should see that and say, this guy paints really good. Let's all send him our fishing lures to paint. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. Had I kept that mentality and just waited for the doorbell to ring or my mailbox to fill up, you know what would have happened? Nothing. You get shit trickle in, but I mean, how is that any different from bass fishing? You go out there and you cut a few checks, and you're like, "Where's my money? Where's my sponsors?" Guess what? I did. I paint good fishing lures. Where's all the fishing lures? I don't know. It isn't like I hear a lot of fishermen whine about well, it's like, dude, there's no difference in taking out a loan to start a construction company or whatever. You're doing it. The difference is like, and you're all competing in a market, right? So you're choosing to compete against 150 other guys. Well, if you were in the construction market, you would be competing against 100 other guys, 100 other contractors trying to get the same job. You don't just walk into the bid and be like, I'm 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 a good painter. I'm a good I pour good slabs. I finish good concrete. I'm a good electrician. Oh, well, hell yeah, here. Take the damn job, dude. But I mean, the difference I think is that they have a really shitty business model comparative to like just going into some uh normal trade or normal business. Uh and you all, nobody knows really what you're getting into, I don't think. I mean, I guess there's, unless you have like a mentor that's like helping you along the way, if you just kind of jump into it and you kind of figure it out along the way, there's a lot of shit that you don't expect, and you know you have to work on, and that sucks. And fishing is no different. Like, if you think you're going to go into business and just do exactly what you came there to do, it doesn't work like that. Like, that's typically like a fraction of your job. Like, if you think you're going to be a professional fisherman and just get to go out there and fish all the time and like make a living, probably not the way it's going to go. Most of the baits I see pros pushing super heavy, it tends to do the opposite to me and deters me from wanting to try it. I honestly trust a smaller guy who is paying out of pocket to review the product. I fish real good. Oh, I don't know. Like, I think it depends on the pro. Like, I always trusted Aaron. That's why I had such a held Aaron to such a high regard in the pro fishing world, was because he was one of the few pros that I trusted. And even like his sponsor baits, like all of his stuff, if he said it was legit, I believed him. And I don't know that I don't know that I don't know that I could say that for really anybody else. I trusted Bill Dance, but Bill burnt me. But I was much younger, much dumber. But who else? Who else would I have the utmost trust in? Professional. I'd trust Hagney. Maybe not so much after watching him fish that reed head, but for the most part. South Jersey, why would I want to send a product to a regular fisherman that has no credentials? That's a nightmare. At least a professional fisherman fishes for a living. He has proven that he can fish. A regular fisherman hasn't proven jack shit other than he's just a fisherman, which doesn't qualify him to review anything but his bathroom or like how to wash his boat. I wouldn't. You mean the regular Joes aren't getting paid? No, but I think for the conversion that you would see for the skeptics like yourself, I think the pot is much bigger for the other. I think it would probably do more harm than good to have some regular Joe Schmo who's like never thrown a crankbait in his life get a crankbait and be like, this thing sucks. I didn't catch any fish on it. Regular fishermen are YouTubers, but you qualify how by watching them you qualify what whether you believe them or not. Like, what am I going to sell if I walk out there with a bait caster and bait and like backlash it and like throw a sweet beaver on a 3/4 ounce sinker and I just like reel it in real fast and I say I didn't catch anything? Are you going to buy that because I'm a regular fisherman? No, you're going to say this asshole doesn't even know what he's doing, dude. He's got like 16 ounces of lead and a like 1/0 hook and a damn 10-inch worm, and he's like throwing up in the trees and like backlashing. Like, you're not going to trust that guy. Or even if he's just like mediocre dude. I don't know. Maybe you do. You don't trust Zal Dangerous? No, not really. Not really. I don't know. Not really. No. No. I trust Trait, probably. Chris, no. Randy Banscope, certainly. Certainly worth trusting. Uh, Speaking of, anybody know what happened to Boatworks? They seem to fall off the face of the earth real quick. Had one in Tuscaloosa open up. No more. Randy used to have his gear all through there. Guess that's not a thing anymore. Depends on the person. I feel more natural reviewer response to a product gives people genuine feedback. Doesn't seem completely fabricated. It's a softer sell for sure. It is a softer sell. It's a little bit easier to stomach, um, where you don't feel like you're as grotesquely being sold as like a pro would typically sell you. Like when they get up on stage, like Randy Howell was the worst about it. Man, I tell you what, I got out there and took my Triton Mercury down the lake about 80 miles an hour, and then I picked up my quantum energy and I threw my howler out there, and and I had my cocoon sunglasses on, and I could see every fish out there that bit me. But I wouldn't have been able to snatch them and flip them over the boat if I didn't have my Trilene XT 6 pound test. Like, the dude would rattle off everything. It's like, dude, I'm never buying any of that shit. Shut up. Bought a Triton. What about Hallman calling it quits? I kind of saw that one coming. He just crashed, and then went rogue for like a month or two. It's like, I don't think this guy's feeling it. But I mean, at what point are you just gonna like crash and burn and be like, I mean, it's probably fun. I don't know. It must not be fun. You know what I mean? He's competitive. And how many pros have you seen come on a podcast and mention the same 5 baits because they tend to get accustomed to certain baits and have confidence in them? So, how much do you really think they're using that? New bait. I have heard Fighter say that he would. Didn't somebody ask him if he's ever promoted a product that he didn't believe in? And I think he said he did it once and he wouldn't do it again. Like, he tries to promote like stuff that he uses and like new stuff. He doesn't promote it until he like knows about it. But I mean, I guess it depends on the guy. There's guys that'll go out there and promote shit that they've never even seen before. It's sell me this pen. Sponsors, if you can talk and you can sell and you're like good on camera, dude, it's like, here, dude, we got this new buzzbait out here. It's got a damn 14-foot shaft on it. Like, they could literally do that to Bill Dance. Pradco could take that. They probably did. They probably took it to Bill Dance and said, Bill, we sent you a package. We need to move some of those. What you think? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll get that done. Bill was not prototyping that stupid ass buzzbait for years before it came out. They sent him a damn box and said, Bill, go out in your damn juice hole and film a vid with this stupid ass thing and let's sell 1 million of them. Okay. The Martins, for sure. You think Roland Martin, if you said, Roland, your $5,000 check monthly, still good, but we got a crankbait. This one, it's coming out this spring. We need you to film some videos. You good with that? Yep. First video. Man, this bait's awesome. I've been fishing it for years. We've been working on this bait. We've been prototyping it for 14 months. Or shit. Like, why would he need to? You know what I mean? Besides to have like a backbone. I think that's just the nature of the beast. The guys that pay for the patches, they need a little something in return. You got to pay the piper. There's a certain pros that definitely have better income revenue from just sponsors, marketing, video design, fishing. Well, that's the beauty of the industry now, is you don't even have to be a pro. If you want to fish for a living, you don't have to be a bass pro. And I feel like the difference from when I was growing up, if you wanted to fish for a living, you had to be a guide or you had to be a pro. Now, you don't have to do either. You just have to be kind of entertaining, maybe do some douchey shit, but helicopter lure, exactly. Exactly. 12 months ago, Scott Martin was promoting a fishing video game. How's that going to work while I fish? The most awkward one was when Scott was promoting the ball sack shaver. Anybody see that one? The Manscaper. It was really uncomfortable listening to Scott try and like tell you to like shave your junk. It's like, dude, I just want to watch a fishing video. I don't want to listen to you talk about like keeping your damn plum shiny. Like, get out of here with that shit. We all bought the Manscaper from Scott. Oh, I would really like to know though, Hella, like how many fishermen saw that and was like, you know what? They are looking a little they are looking a little curly. Let me get this Manscaper. You're right, Scott. You're right. I mean, maybe a bunch. I don't know. Like it would probably blow my mind because I still feel like you know I see something like that. I'm like, dude, nobody's buying this shit. But then you look behind the scenes, it's like, oh, we're not. Oh, well, how about our quarterly review from Scott's video? We sold 17,000 units of the Manscaper. Really? Yeah. South Jersey, I think you're right. Bait marketing back in the day. Now there's so much out there. Back then, there was still a lot of grounds. Like even like colors were still new. Like bait designs were still new. Like little stuff made a big difference. And like and you had mainly just like big companies putting that stuff out. So you had to wait. Now it's it's everywhere. When trimming in the boat to be like chumming, I will say I did get reprimanded in Hella's boat when I picked up his Manscaper and I didn't put it back in the Manscape cubby hole. I did get a slap on the wrist for that. How am I supposed to find my Manscaper if it's not in the Manscape cubby? Sorry, Hella. I was just looking at it. Put it back. Okay. Would trimmings be worse than cottonwood? Hella, this black cottonwood really is hard to get off the hooks. That's because it's my pubes. I thought it was for trimming my buzzbait skirt, Marty. Turns out Hella manscapes on the back deck of his rig. AJ would think twice about biting it off with his teeth. Puke. Man, this really, this stream really took a turn for the best. Oh, well, I'm about to go test some Burns baits. Brendan, your big giant bait showed up, and it is now a nice matte finish. And I'm just going to send it back to you just like this because of how much I know you like matte finished baits. That is not. There you go, Brendan. Beautiful matte finish, just like you like. Do not do sorry about that on the Poor AJ. My eyes are a little watery. The black cottonwood. Can I send pics? No, Brendan, then you'll get the recipe, bro. You want me to video it and make a YouTube video about painting your bait? I've already missed a big section of where I sand it. But I think I have rid it of shiny. We'll see. I've gotten all the weird stuff off of it. I gotta get these eyes off. They're real tight. They're real tight. But that's a lot of bait, dude. I don't think I've painted one of these. I don't recall it. But that's big. That is big. Send pics, make the blurry the only corner of the tail. Yeah, I just send them to him like that view. Works just like a workhorse. Are you going to do anything about this hole, Brendan? Are you going to plug the hole? Those are in there. I just thought I'd check. Those look glued in. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. Burns, I'm gonna go throw your little bait. The fatty. The not fat thing. The MP not fat. All right, I'll let you take care of that, Brendan. I'm going to take, and I'm also going to throw the new Hank Parker. I'll sling it around, and I'll probably take this baby wedge just to see if there's really fish out there. I'm trying to think of something I can compare it to. Here's a 9-inch Eon. Pal, let's go fishing. That's what I'm about to go prototyping. This one's been fished a lot, Brendan. Or maybe it's just been hit on some things. No, you cannot, Brendan. That's Josh's. So I gotta paint it and send it back to him. He wants it to look real fancy, so I have to make it look fancy. But I think he's making some, so you should be able to get some baits from him. The Eon is just a smidge of 4 ounces. This Hakanumas thing, real big. 9? That's it. Just 9 ounces. A little over half a pound. A lot of bait. A lot of bait. When you think about this thing being 4 ounces and 9, I am excited to throw this little plug, Bernsey. I have to get me a little tackle box together. What I need to do is see what the tide's doing. If I go down there at low tide, that's not going to be good. Let's pull up the tide chart and see, shall we? Oh, it's incoming. We're good. It's about halfway in, so there will be water on the grass, over the grass. It was high, or it was low when? It was low at about 9 o'clock. So it's coming back in for a couple hours. When does it get high? It's a gradual tide. It gets high at 10 o'clock tonight. Bring a 1 minus. No thanks. They don't eat that garbage. The 250 was enough for me. 250 is a lot of bait too. I remember the first time I saw a 250, it was way bigger than I thought they were. Should I bring this? What else do I have that I need to throw? I should probably bring this Sally. That's probably worth throwing for a minute. I should probably bring a worm, like a Texas rig of some sort. Not a burner, but has good thump. Crankbait? Oh, there should not be any crankbait water. Do buzzbaits work for you in the fall, winter? Yes, because it never gets cold here. It never gets cold. You just got to pick your days. I mean, you can catch them in the water never gets hardly into the 40s, so you're always looking at 50-degree water, and you can catch fish on top water in 50. Hell, those dudes from like Massachusetts have completely changed any kind of like topwater thought, because they go out there in like February in Massachusetts with like half of the lake frozen over and throw a damn wake bait and catch like Massachusetts sevens. It's like, how, like, what are you fishing for? Yeah, catching topwater fish while it's snowing and like the water temperature is like 34. What? It's odd, dude. I don't know if that's like the fish strain, like that's like a northern strain thing. But like if you go down to like you don't go to Florida and fish 35-degree water and throw a wake bait and like catch fish, I don't think. I don't know. Those guys, they're doing weird stuff up there. But it works out for them. This is going to be my tackle box today. That's going to be my tackle box today. What else do I need? Things. Mike, you've tried it. Didn't work out for you? No, I think you have to be a little. I think you have to be a little different to make that bite work. You know what? Screw it. Childhood 1 minus. Throw it in the box. Why not? We'll bring this little guy. I need something lighter. Maybe that one. It's in there, Burns. It's on the bottom, I think. Yeah, it's right here. You talking about the MP not so fat? Check. You're right, Brendan. I'm not going to fish this man's. A, because I don't want to lose it. B, because they suck. Let me get me some rods. Here's a cranking pole. There's a little jig, my lickety jig. Buzzbait. Jerkbait, not enough water, Anthony. The tube, it's not worth wasting, Brendan, because there's not an infinite supply of those tubes. So I would not want to waste one farting around on a prototype day. Definitely a waste of the tube. Definitely a waste. So I will not be using those. So what I'm going to probably have is 2 feet of water, maybe. And I'm pretty much going to have eelgrass up to the surface. 45 grains. How big was that fish, South Jersey? It was probably big, I'm assuming. Typically, when you get those freak cold water, topwater bites, they're giants. Not enough water, BBC. The bait's got so much weight when it hits the water and it goes down, it'll bog up in grass. I can show y'all if you want me to. I'll send a picture. Let's see. I got some stuff. I got stuff. I need a mini max chatterbait. That's what I need. And my favorite rattle trap color. Ooh, Jim, I like that. I like that. What else? Let me see if I have one in here. There's a black buzzbait. Throw it in there. Why not? Do I have chatterbaits in here, or is this just spinnerbaits? Looks like there's only spinnerbaits in here. Where's my chatter pieces? Oh, they're right here, maybe. It is odd, I know, Helen. It is odd. I don't know where my Minimax is. I think I've lost it. Or is it tied onto something? No. I'll take the swimming worm too, just for poo-poos and grins. But if I bring the swimming worm, I have to bring worms. They're not so much where I'm fishing, Brendan. They don't like where I'm at because it'll be salt infused and too much current. All right, now I need a pack of worms. What's in this one? This one, all of these are like the same bag, but just different baits. Oh yeah. This is the bag. Okay. I'm ready. I think. Here's the tubes, but they're hidden in a reaction bag. All right. Put that in there just for grins. I need a lid for my container. All right. Let's see what happens, dudes. Wish me luck. John, I'm going now. I'll let you know how it goes. It will be fishing off the bank, correct? Yeah, it'll be dark here in 2 hours. But I'll be fishing off the bank, testing. We'll check in later. Later, dudes.